Okay, it's rolling.
Here we go. We've had the RV now for a little over a week, and we've gotten a lot done. You've gotten a lot done.
So yeah, this week I got started a lot on removing and repairing a lot of the damage that's occurred due to water. I started pulling out the dry rotted, and they actually still had a little bit of mold on them. The front cabinets over the cockpit, like the ones on the side where the curtain's attached to. I left those up until I got everything sealed off with plastic and tape so that, you know, the mold spores wouldn't float around and get inside anywhere that would be hard to clean it off. So everything's sealed up right now. We're done. Whatever mold might have become airborne, we'll spray down, wipe down, kill all the spores. Go over it with mold killing primer, and yeah, it should be nice and safe. We're good. There's not a lot of mold. Most of what I found was more dry rotted wood and rust. There was a lot of rust from the front cabinet. It has a metal frame. It's covered in rust, and so much of it just like fell out like powdered old rust.
The powdered rust.
One of the bigger things I did was removing the carpet from the ceiling.
Oh, praise be.
Yeah, everything that entailed. So that was quite a task.
He did it all by himself, and in like really 2 days, like broken up into like 2 days. It took a lot less time than I thought it was gonna take.
Yeah, it went faster than removing the ceiling went a little smoother and faster than I thought. So when I first started to take the ceiling out, I thought narrow strips would be about like 12 inches or so. So I thought that was small enough, and it was not. So I was literally hanging from the ceiling by the carpet because it wouldn't come down. So once I started cutting it into like 4-inch wide strips and pulling those down, things went a lot faster. So that was really the key, was narrow strips and a lot of them. It was still hard going and very, very messy. There is so much like fibers
everywhere,
and dust, which
gross.
Yeah, guessing that's other people's dead skin cells dust. So that was a little gross.
There it is.
But I suited up really good though. I wore my hat. I had a nice respirator on. After I removed the ceiling carpet and pulled it down in strips, I was left with a lot of like just leftover fuzz, like still stuck to the glue and whatnot. So today I went in there with the heat gun, and I just sort of heated all those remaining fibers up and let them shrink down and compress up against the ceiling pretty good. So that should, when I go over it with primer, it should be reasonably well stuck down. I tried scraping it after I sort of melted and singed everything back up, but it's still stuck on there really good. It just really helped remove the fuzziness of it. Now it's more of like a popcorn ceiling texture. Not what we're going for, but it should be a pretty good substrate for what we are planning to put up to replace the carpet. So I guess, one thing I have been excited about is definitely, like you said, the design elements. I have been excited about the new faucets and ordering fabric samples and looking at paint colors and stuff. Interior design, or just plain old design, is kind of a passion of mine. I love.
Thank goodness.
Aesthetic design. Yeah, I love it. Whether it's like a thing that I'm making, or in my home, or in the RV. So I'm really looking forward to being able to plan out, my color palettes and just overall design palettes, not just colors, but patterns and textures and materials. Like I love that stuff. So I'm excited. I got some really exciting fabric samples coming, and I can't wait.
That's another thing though that's been fun is you designing and 3D printing some of the replacement parts.
Yes. I've been doing replacement parts as well as working on some just new stuff, or just RV specific stuff.
A package!
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Oh.
Thank you!
No problem.
Seeing all of the different ways and figuring out the things that you can 3D print, like what's going to save money and save like packaging and transportation and all the ways that we are able to kind of reduce our footprint in renovating the RV.
I've been designing and 3D printing some replacement parts or upgrade parts where I can, where it makes sense. Some of this stuff is just too large or not really feasible to 3D print, but a lot of stuff I found that I can 3D print instead of ordering, this specific replacement part, or even like trying to hunt down and find the right replacement part on a 17-year-old RV. Sometimes it's faster just to design it and 3D print it, honestly. Faster and cheaper. I'll spend less time hunting around for it. But, so I'm excited to see what parts I can do. Things are changing. Some parts that I thought I'd be able to print, and then maybe not, I need to buy, and vice versa. I think I initially talked about those little cable entry covers in the cargo hatches, thinking I would just buy those, but after looking at the cost, like per item, and like the quantity that we need, and the function that it really serves, I think I'm gonna design and 3D print something instead. It's gonna save us, a considerable amount of money just on something like that. 3, cable entry things. I mean, that's easily like $50-$60 savings.
Up top.
Yeah. Plus shipping. So.
And like that's gonna allow us to. What was something that you had said that?
More comfortable camping chairs.
There we go. Camping chairs.
Savings is savings. It gives us more money to do whatever else we need to do. Bills, parts,
groceries,
furnishings. Yeah. I've also been designing and 3D printing a lot of different mounting brackets for our. I guess I'll go ahead and just call it our server cabinet. It's our server cabinet now. It was the electronics cabinet. Now it's the server cabinet.
Multiple times he has said that this is his most favorite thing that he is most excited about in the whole RV. The server cabinet.
The server cabinet.
That's gonna be pretty cool. So I've started getting it set up. I got a few Raspberry Pis, a couple other like single board computers, and I'm starting to fit drives and power supplies. It's gonna be great. So we're gonna be able to have like a lot of the stuff that we have here, like
stuff that I need for work.
We have our own cloud rolling with us. Our own private media server, our own file storage servers, our own internet security, like our gateways, ad blockers, whatever, network monitoring, protection, the same kind of stuff I have going on here, smaller, shrunk down into an RV size package, and I'm pretty excited about that.
I think that's been just you figuring out all the ways that we can have the things that we love to have in our 2,700 square foot house, in our new 250 square foot house.
And it's easier than ever to figure that kind of stuff out now with all the resources we have available for setting all this stuff up, and just the availability of being able to buy these miniature computers that we have. And I'm so thankful for the people who paved the way to make that happen. I think we need to talk about nuts.
Full bag. It was brand
This
new.
one.
This one right here. Where'd they go?
Boom.
Down there.